Well, hello class, I'm Shannon and I'm here to talk to you about my 5 top strengths according to the Strength Quest test. So my top 5 are relator, strategic, maximizer, developer, and achiever. If I was to sum up all 5 of those together in one sentence, it would be that I can and will do what I've promised with excellence on the best, most effective path while serving others through relationships and helping them develop and reach their potential. So I think that's a good summary of those 5 together. I am going to break it down, talk about each one a little bit, a story, life examples. So with relator, one thing I've been told over and over my whole life is that I make horrible first impressions, and that a lot of people at first, they tell me they don't like me, but after they got to know me, we're then best friends for life. An example of this are my students this year. I'm a first year teacher, and I guess within the first 2 weeks of school, the Spanish teacher for the Spanish 2 class had the students write a little bit about their favorite teacher and their least favorite teacher for that school year, and a lot of them wrote about me as their least favorite teacher. Now all those students who are telling me all about this now hang out in my classroom before school, nutrition, lunch, and after school. I see them all day long. I can't get rid of them. And they tell me, they call me mom. We talk about all kinds of things. We're very transparent with each other. There's so many things that people, not only my students, but just people, they tell me things and I'm like, why are you telling me this? But I'm very transparent and others are as well. So that's just one thing about relator. Next is strategic. This area is very hard for me to explain to people a lot of times. My brain does work very, very fast. It plans ahead. I think of so many different things all the time about every single thing. Even just parking. Like when I go to a store, number 1, I want to park far away so I can get exercise. Number 2, I want to park as close to the shopping cart return as possible because I don't want to walk all the way up and drop off the cart, but I hate leaving it in the middle of the parking lot. So if I park right next to the shopping cart return, but not right next to it because then a car is going to hit it. So a cart's going to hit it. So one over. Then I can get exercise by walking into the store. I can return my cart really easy because I don't want to walk it all the way back in, even though that would be more exercise, but I do have time that I need to get back to the house. And also when I park, I want to make sure that I'm driving away from the store because I do not like those little entrances where people are crossing going in the store and out of the store because it's crazy. So when I'm getting ready to go shopping, I'm more patient, but by the time I'm done, I'm ready to get home. So I will drive through that on the way to find my parking spot, but on the way to leave the store, I do not want to be near that. And so I will go through this on everything. How to load the dishwasher, which route to take. Oh my goodness, like on which route to take to drop our kids off at school. At one point we still have 4 kids in 4 different schools. But at one point I was having to drop them all off myself in the morning because there's no bus system for Arcadia and there's 4,000 students alone in the high school. So you have 4,000 kids getting either dropped off by their parents or walking or riding their bikes to school at the same time that all 6 elementary schools and 3 middle schools are having drop-off times, plus the private Catholic school. And so I literally thought this plan through. But my husband's like, we need to try different routes. I was like, okay, I'm going to drive this route. You drive the others. He drove 5 different routes, 5 different days in a row. I drove the same route every single day and beat him every single time. I just think everything through and I can do it fast. And it used to drive my husband crazy, but now he just trusts me. And he's like, okay. But for so many other people, I know they can't keep up with my brain, and it takes me forever to explain it to them. And so I get frustrated, they get frustrated. And so I love being strategic, but it does have its drawbacks. The next one that I had was excellence. I do have an expectation of myself and others to do things in excellence. I will say even tonight though, I didn't put makeup on and stuff because it's my PE face. But I was like, man, I wish I would have done this video on Sunday because I had my makeup on. But you're just getting me with no makeup, sorry. So even little things like that. I do have an expectation. My students, they've even commented, Miss, you expect so much of us. You expect us to do it a certain way. And I've even returned things to kids before, like, you can do better, do better. And they're like, you really do expect a lot out of us. And I was like, yeah, I do. And guess what? Once I see you can do it, I'll expect more the next time because I know you are capable of doing it. And so, but another thing it talked about on excellence was return on investment. When I was deciding on my career change, I really was thinking about becoming a nurse or a nutritionist. I was really leaning towards those two careers. But I felt like I'm going to be spending so much time educating to get in education to get a new career that I want to make sure that I'm making a difference. And when I started thinking about it, you know, a nurse and the nutritionist all the nutritionists I talked to, they were always dealing with people after they got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And I wanted to help people prevent it. And so that's why I became a physical educator, is to help prevent type 2 diabetes and to educate our students that if they have proper exercise and nutrition through life, it will help prevent hopefully 80% of the different diseases out there. And so I wanted a huge return on my investment. And that's why I became a physical educator. Next, developer. This is one of my strengths that I really like because I feel like I can always see potential in someone. Always. There's always something that they always. There's no lost cause. And somehow I've become a magnet for these people. This year alone, I've had 8 students who a lot of people would look at as lost causes request to be in my class. It is exhausting sometimes because they need a little bit more attention, and it takes a lot more work to help develop them. But I see potential in everybody. I did have this one employee one time, and he really messed up. Amazing employee, just a great guy overall, but he really messed up, big time, and I should have fired him. And he knew it, my employees knew it, so many of them asked, why did you not fire him? And I was like, he needs to hit rock bottom to know that he messed up, and me firing him would not put him at rock bottom. And so I'm just waiting because I know he has great potential, but he needs to see it. And so about a month later, he got arrested and put in jail, served 6 months. And when he got out, I was asking my employees who are good friends with him, I was like, hey, where is he? They're like, he can't face you. I was like, why? He knew he messed up. You should have fired him, and he knows it. And I was like, tell him to come in and see me. And this conversation went on and on and on and on for about 3 months. And so finally one day he showed up. Wouldn't even look me in the eye. I was like, hey, let's go talk. And so we sat down and talked, and he apologized. I asked him if he wanted to come back and work for me. And he said, yeah, but he knew he didn't deserve it. And I said, yeah, you're right. You do not deserve it. But I believe in you. I was like, there's consequences. I don't trust you right now, but I'd like to try. And he agreed. So he gave us 2 weeks notice at his other place, and we worked on it. It took 6 months before I trusted him enough to really move him up to a position of trust. But we worked on that, and today he manages his own store, and I'm really proud of him. My last strength is achiever. I'm an introvert, and so a lot of my strengths really look like extroverts, especially the relator and the developer. And so I believe the achiever allows me that motivation and that drive to really complete things and to really follow through, because I do need time alone to get energized. But because of that drive, like, I love teaching. I really love it. And there's lots of different reasons, but it really drives me. So like, I'm dreading the summertime. I'm looking forward to the summer because I want to spend it with my husband and kids. So I'm looking forward to it, but I'm dreading it because even this weekend was a 3-day weekend and I was missing my students. I was like, oh, I don't know if I can handle a whole summer without them. So right now I am going to switch gears and I am going to go into the interviewee mode. So I am now talking to you as if I can tell you about my strengths in an interview. So some of my strengths is, number one, I'm a person who completes things. So if I tell you I'm going to do something, I will do it, and I will do it with excellence. Another strength is I am a planner. It's easy for me to see things, to see patterns, to organize my time, and to plan lessons. I also see patterns and potential in students. And so one way this is a strength for me is when it comes to formative assessments, I can see patterns, whether that's in with a class or a group of students or within all my students or a certain lesson. I can see patterns, and I can also just see the potential in my students and how far they can go. And so when we're doing a formative assessment, I'm able to communicate to them how they should do something differently or how they're doing it correctly, why they should continue or change, and what exactly they should do so that they can be successful on their summative assessments. Also, I am motivated to see my students succeed, and I really strive to help them reach their full potential and to do that with excellence. And finally, my biggest asset to my strengths is that I have relationship building skills, not only with my students, but with my colleagues. Thank you, and have a great night. Bye.